First of all, let's apologize to all of the people watching today's video for the noise that is coming from the DIY work that's happening above me and, of course, to the right of me as well. And sometimes you might hear a little bit of noise. I do apologize for that, but let's actually just get straight into the topic of today's video, which is that XRP is doing something very different to what the rest of the crypto market is doing. We are seeing XRP move one way while Bitcoin and altcoins are generally moving in the other direction. That's a bit positive, right? This kind of deviation away from kind of what's going on. So we're going to take a look at the technical analysis for XRP, and I'll be sharing my thoughts and opinions as to where I think the price action is heading next based on these most recent movements. So let's jump right down into today's video. So here we have XRP paired up with USDT. We're on the 1 hour Binance chart here, and you can see that our expectations were a fifth wave move to the downside. Instead, we rallied up higher. That means that we had a three-wave move here to the downside, and we have a three-wave move to the upside. Now, what's really interesting about our current structure is there is this upper area of resistance that's really suppressing the price of XRP at the point of recording, which is just short of 5 a.m. UTC. Okay, now our momentum is quite high here on the 1 hour, almost overbought. On the 4 hour, it's progressing towards overbought. The 8 hour, it's actually had a bit of a positive cross here, but it is still lower than the 50 level. So we'll look at that through a negative lens at the moment. So there's still the potential for a little bit more room to the upside. Now, if I take a look at the structure here for XRP on this 1 hour time frame, we can see that we did push up higher than the 1.618 here. So it's actually in a 5-wave pattern to the upside. So we have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and we're looking for that final fifth wave move to the upside. This is a very similar situation to what we were tracking yesterday with this idea that we were going to a 5-wave move to the downside. Only thing is, it failed to do so. So that makes this a zigzag pattern that's just irregular. Support being found on the 200 EMA. We saw the break above the 50 EMA and the 50 SMA yesterday with support being found back on those right now. So support's being found. We would actually be looking for a long position on XRP right here because we have confirmed confirmed support being found. And so we would be looking for a long position here, and we'll be targeting out that 1.5. We'll put the stop loss lower than the 50 EMA there, and we'll be looking for profit around that kind of level here at around that kind of 59.63 cents, assuming that we entered at 0300 hours, right? Now, the interesting thing here is actually the fifth wave move that we'll be tracking would be a little bit more on the conservative side, and it doesn't necessarily hit these kind of thresholds. So we would be looking for 59.48 to 59.99 on the kind of final fifth wave move to the upside. So possible for the long position there. If you did get in, would we enter now? Probably not. I think the risk reward ratio is going to be really quite difficult. We'd have to still put the stop loss in a reasonable area, and I don't think we're going to reach that 1.5 minimum. So if you're not in the long right now, probably not worth it. But I would be looking for a knee-jerk short position from this upper area that we've hit into before, coming in here. Okay, so very, very interesting. Now, is it possible that maybe we are actually still in the kind of macro kind of 5-wave move to the upside? It's definitely something to consider, and we'll do the checks on that in a moment. But for the most part, we are looking at this move here. We'll look for short positions in and around that kind of 59.48. So I would be looking to short the market there with the stop loss just sitting higher than the previous swing high, somewhere in the range of around 60.18 probably, and we'll target out 1.5 on the risk reward ratio, so a good short position right there. And of course, if I am to be trading, then I'm going to be trading on BitGet or Blofin, which are my go-to exchanges when it comes to leverage-based trades. Links for those are in the description down below. If you've not got accounts already with those exchanges, then use those links. You'll be eligible for some fantastic bonuses and discounts depending on where you are around the world. Click those links and you'll get all the terms and conditions associated with all of that down below. So I would be looking for a short position on XRP, and I'll be looking for something to that effect, which means that we have the idea of a potential break to the upside, which means that all of this is actually just a wave forward, not the reversal. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I put a video out, that's been 2 days ago, I think it was, where I was talking about is the top almost in, because we were looking for this little push to the upside here. Obviously, we had the initial kind of structure finishing here, which obviously did tap in, and now actually I'm going to kind of say, no, it looks like the top probably is not yet in here for XRP. So obviously we're still heading quite nicely to the upside. For a while now, I've been talking about 75 to 85 cents. We'll talk about that in a second as well. But here you can kind of see this is the 5-wave movement, and it could be the start of another big run to the upside. If this completes, we will be looking for a 3-wave rejection briefly before getting into an additional 5-wave move to the upside, where I would suspect that we'd hit a 1.618 times the first 5-wave move, and we start seeing that impulsive break to the upside from there. So XRP's price is looking very interesting. Is it possible that this truncates and is actually a part of a kind of different structure? It's definitely possible if we were to kind of think about everything that's going on here as a kind of diagonal based pattern. We then have this one coming up hitting the 1.618, which it does. Essentially, what I would be looking for and would be cautious on would be this correction and whether or not you lose this existing low. That low coming in down here at the 56.03. We would have to hold that area if we wanted to stay really confident on XRP's price action. Okay, so I'm saying a lot of things, and I know some of it might be rather confusing, so I'm just going to try to summarize this in a little bit more clarity for you guys. Just give me 1 second while I clear out some of these nines. So what I'm looking at here is the idea that we have a wave 1, 2, 3, okay, 4, and then 5. Now, when I said truncate, what I mean is that this normal 5th wave movement would have to kind of reach 1.236 times the wave 4 towards 1.618 times wave 4. But sometimes it falls short, but it still completes its 5-wave pattern. The minimum expectation on a truncated 5th wave move would be a double top with what we saw over here, so 59.92, which would fall right in line with our targeted range. So that's why a short position here would be kind of the idea. We go short, we put the stop loss somewhere just above that previous swing high, obviously outside of our initial kind of 5th wave target range. And we obviously want to be thinking about a decent retracement. So 1.5 on the risk reward ratio is kind of a nice safe area to be, but we could potentially be coming down to find previous support in these lower ranges. And obviously anything lower than our swing low, which is actually this one right here at 55.98, I believe that is. So yeah, anything lower than 55.98 is essentially going to break that structured move to the upside, meaning that yes, we truncated here and we fell short, and now of course we're in a different pattern altogether. So be very mindful over some of that. Hopefully I made sense. I know the Elliott wave theory is a complex subject, but essentially what we're doing is we're tracking the behaviors of the people buying and selling, and the market is due an extreme amount of volatility in the next kind of 24 to 48 hours. So this market is either going to break up or completely collapse on itself, indicating that we complete this 5-wave pattern here with a truncated 5th wave movement based on what we're seeing. So be mindful over that. Otherwise, we look for the impulsive breaks to the upside. And of course, if I roll this up into our daily time frame, we are still targeting out 75 to 85 cents. Okay, obviously, I'm still a skeptic as to whether or not we can reach that without first retesting the lower trend lines and potentially losing 50-cent level. Okay, so the idea here is a potential retracement before getting into those runs. But again, you know, as more data becomes available, we'll be able to update you guys because we're doing daily technical analysis on XRP. So as it sits today, it still looks good for the 75 to 85 cents, but things can turn quite quickly. So be very, very mindful, specifically over the US Federal Reserve interest rate decision tomorrow. That could have a profound effect on the entire market, including XRP. So we want to be very, very careful as to what we see going on. The price action on the daily timeframes in a strong position, though it is above the 250 and EMAs and the 50 SMA. Our momentum, though, is not supporting the idea of a fantastic run to the upside, but it isn't unheard of to come down here and just get a rebound. I'm going to see if I can find some historically. Yeah, over here, for example, you can see that we've come down. We tap into this just out of the oversold area and then rally back up again. This is an area where we see a small retracement and then a big run to the upside. Okay, and we remain up in the overbought area for quite some time as we tap into these higher ranges of November 2023, and obviously did tap onto 75 cents back in November of 2023, right? So be very mindful over that, that we might find a similar situation playing out here where we come down and then we rally and we kind of bounce up and we continue up towards 75 cents like we saw in November 2023. Okay, but for now, you know, we'll see whether or not we get a clean break. We haven't yet set any higher highs on the daily time frame, so we want to be a skeptic to a degree, but hopeful nonetheless, hoping for the 75 to 85 cent breakout sooner rather than later. But again, we'll keep a very close eye on the market and update everybody daily as to what I'm seeing going on. But what are your thoughts on XRP's price action? let me know in the comments down below, or join us in our free Discord server. I don't think you'll regret joining us down there. And if you haven't done so already, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, and check this video out right here, because it's not one you're going to want to miss.